majority of us members, we can easily forget. But before the labor laws were passed in 2006, for those of you who were there, you remember the song of the day was that the laws that were there at the time were obsolete. Trade unions as institutions participated in the fight for independence. Trade unions participated in the fight for independence. Our forefathers participated, not only here in Uganda, but all over the world. And why we were fighting is because we believed the colonial masters were oppressing. They were dehumanizing us as citizens of this country. And we worked together with the governments of the day to ensure that we acquire independence. When we acquired independence, we wanted to be independent to be able to function with the respect and dignity that a human being must be able to have. But the governments that replaced the colonial masters carried forward the laws that the colonial masters had put in place. And among those laws included the labor laws. And from that moment after independence, trade unions started fighting for the amendment of those laws. The fight went on. We went through a dictatorship that could no longer even want to listen to the arguments we were advancing as trade unionists. They introduced decrees in the days of Idi Amin. The struggle went on until the government, the current government came into power in 1985. A new chapter was opened where we continued with the struggle for the amendment of the labor laws. This struggle went on up to the year 2006. 2006, when these labor laws were amended, we spent close to 15, 16, 17 to 20 years fighting that these labor laws be amended. Why would we be able to fight for that long? To have labor laws amended, to grant respect and dignity to the working people. Why? The period we spent fighting against the colonial masters was a very long period. We now knew very well that when our own government led by our own people, comes into place, then we will be able to acquire social and economic justice. Unfortunately, the people who came into power also started enjoying the benefits that the colonial masters were enjoying. They started looking at workers as a problem. Trade unions were now being looked at as a problem. Up to the present day, trade unions are looked at as a problem. But a problem from where? We are all Ugandans. We are speaking about the social and economic ills against our own people. The workers are not my workers. The workers are not my brothers. The workers are workers who are actually our own children, our own brothers and sisters. Why then do we have those in the government always looking at trade unions as a problem? Because of that mentality, they frustrated amendment of the labor laws. Even in the year 2006, under this current government, the labor laws were amended as a result of an international struggle. It was not easy. We originally participated, all of us, this time around, before 2006, the labor laws which were amended in 2006, trade unions and employers, honestly speaking, they participated in the amendment of those labor laws, and clause by clause, we went through all of those labor laws. The trade unions were there at the time, headed by first of all, it was Brother Mukasa Mudirikat, later on our brother, the late Ongaba Jerimoyo Tong. They led us into a process where we all participated in the amendment of these labor laws. But after we finalized participation, time came when we needed now the laws to be amended. The government refused to pass those laws. Parliament could not pass those laws. It took, again, another turn of an international struggle for those laws to be passed by Parliament. I think it was by then one of the unions, it was, I think, Uganda Textiles, Garment, Leather and Allied Workers Union, which was headed by Sister Catherine Aneno, who actually filed a petition to their Global Union Federation, which was, I think, the International Textiles, Garment, Leather and Allied Workers Union. This Global Union Federation filed a petition to the American government asking the American government to compel Uganda. Can you imagine? Can you imagine we had to take the support of the international trade union fraternity to ask the government of the United States of America to compel Uganda to be able to pass the laws. Uganda was no longer listening to its own people. What is this? What is this? How can you refuse to listen to your own people explaining that these laws are obsolete? We need to amend them. After this was done, ILO eventually also mounted pressure, asking the government of Uganda to go to Geneva in Switzerland during the ILO conference to explain why they have refused to pass the laws. As a result of this pressure, I remember His Excellency the President summoning trade unions in the State House. Trade unions were summoned in the State House, and the minister was asked why the labor laws were not being passed. By then it was, I think, Honorable Zoe Bakoko Bakoro. Honorable Zoe Bakoko Bakoro gave an explanation, and I think after the President considered the explanation, he directed and said, no, go ahead and ensure these labor laws are passed. I don't want any more trouble. These are things which can be handled. Now, why did we have to have the labor laws passed as a result of international pressure? When actually we are here, we speak to government every day. We speak to government officers every day. Government officers have engaged us and we have participated in the process of ensuring that we amend the laws in a way that will be able to address the problems of the workers fair. And it is only the stage of passing the laws, but the laws could not be passed. So the question I'm trying to put across here is there has always been lack of goodwill. The willingness by government to pass laws in favor of the workers is not up to this present time good enough to be regarded as goodwill. And therefore, when we are looking at what is happening in industrial court today we are looking at what is happening in industrial court. We shouldn't be surprised because the lack of goodwill has been there right from days immemorial. And for us who are representatives of the workers, trade union leaders who are representatives of the workers, let us have the mentality to have a critical eye of interrogating each and everything that we go into. If we are going to